In a world full of noise, two giants decide to speak. Devin Dubuc, 6'4", John Hinks Jr., 6'8". Standing tall, thinking bigger. Real stories, real strategies. No fluff, no filter. From the trenches to the top, this is where mortgage pros come to grow. Because when giants talk, you listen. You know, it says John Hinks Jr. I would hate to see senior because if he's any bigger than you are.
Senior was a big man. Senior was a big man. His nickname was Big Red.
Big Red. We got Big Red and Big John, my brother. Well, I think we got an exciting topic today because, there's a big myth out there. And we've talked to some of the other coaching platforms out there that say, hey, look, you've got to qualify your agents. And that's who you go after, because if they don't have business to give to you, right, then is it worth your time to have that communication? And I think this show we're talking about, is that a yes or a no, John? Do you think that's a myth or a fact?
That is a myth, man. Big, I feel
like we need like
myth.
A stomping sound right there.
Like boom. Myth. Myth. Big time.
So let's talk about that, man. So why is it a myth? Why is it a myth that we should not focus on newer agents?
Well, I'll give you an example. I'm not one of the top producers in my market anymore. My world's changed and what I get to do every day for this business. But I can tell you the top producers in the mortgage world has shifted and changed. Yeah. And I can tell you in my market here in Columbia, South Carolina, the faces that are the top producers now are not the same faces that were the top producers before or even during COVID. Yeah. Just a different demographic, a different age group, a different mindset, just brand new agents. And, I had that mindset at one time. Devin was like, if you didn't close X or X, then I need to market to someone that does. And then I'm looking at the loan officers get to work with these giants in our industry now, like these real estate agents are killing it. And I'm like, they took a chance on them and I didn't.
Well, it's almost like they had a crystal ball. They're like, you know what? I see the future, and we've got, and not that all agents are in this category. We've got some agents that got real complacent when it got really, really easy. And then you got these newer folks that don't know any other market. This is just the market that they were given, and don't tell them that it can't be done. And, you've got these loan officers that saw that crystal ball future and said, no, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk to these people. And now they're cornering the market because those agents have grown with them. And I think that's a little bit about what we want to talk about on the show is how do you have an agent that grows with you? What are you providing, the new agent that's brand new to the market? Not only are we going to reach out and we're going to communicate with them, but we're going to provide them some value to help them grow. That's kind of the trends that I'm seeing, John. Is that what you're seeing in your market as well?
Bro, you can't be picking up the phone and calling anybody, new or old, unless you're bringing some type of value. But it is easier to bring value to someone that's new in the business. It is easier to get to know someone that is new in the business because if you've been in the industry long enough, you can bring a wealth of knowledge and you're automatically bringing value. And let's be real here, man. Like it's, the loan officers, I feel we get sometimes better training because you can have an agent that's not under the right, BIC, or the BIC has 200 agents and they're trying to field as much as they possibly can. So they don't get enough of that one-on-one. So there's a lot of agents out there right now that are kind of like wandering aimlessly looking for guidance. And loan officers, we can provide guidance because we're the ones that give you money for their clients to buy homes. And they need to know as much as they possibly can. And we're the ones that do it for them. I mean, so education 100% is everything in this business, advising and helping them. And that's how you bring the value. So I've got a good one for you. A good story. I mean, because I think stories tell everything. So I had a mindset shift 3 years ago where I did start saying, you know what, to be honest with you, started hating working with some of the agents that were big time because they had just had this windfall year. So all of a sudden their ego got so big. So I started working with newer people saying, you know what, I want to help some of these new people get into the game. Our real estate industry is so top heavy. So you kind of want to start helping build the base a little bit.
Yeah.
And, but for instance, I started working with this one agent, I don't know, 2 years ago, and she didn't know anything. I was able to help her find the right BIC, find the right company. But not only was I telling her about mortgage products, I was telling, we kind of worked together to try to get her out there and do more. And I mean,
get known.
I don't know, 2 years in the business, and last year or the year before was the lowest amount of originations we've had since 1994. But that girl closed 14 units in 2025, and I get to work with her. So
that's awesome.
I invested in her. But that's awesome. The median age of realtors right now is like 55 years old. So there's that should, like, for loan officers, there you got to. So what's the average age for a first-time home buyer right now?
Yeah.
It's
not
40.
55.
It's not 55. So it's like, believe it or not, it is 40, but only 11% of the agents right now are under 40. We kind of looked up some numbers. So if you look for those type of agents that are not the top heavy agents, they're the ones that are kind of up and coming in the business. They're bringing a plethora of buyers with them right now that aren't quite ready to buy a house.
Yeah.
And when they get to that average age of 40, boom, you want to be there waiting for
That's the spot. Yeah.
Well,
it's funny you talk about that because, we're talking about agents right now and working with newer agents. But even when we were at the recent MortgageCon event and we were talking with Neil Dingra, right? He got up on stage and what he was talking about is most originators want the right now. I want it right now. I got to have it right now. And I think it's because a lot of the times they're chasing a paycheck and it may not having to be a paycheck for that month. It may be a paycheck they needed 6 months ago. Right. And what he said was the moment I stopped chasing and I started building a brand that people could trust and rely on and started focusing on the people that were going to buy later, not the ones they're going to buy right now, I stopped having to chase. And I thought that was just a phenomenal way of breaking it down because, again, you've got these loan officers that are chasing, I need it today, and they're always chasing. They never stop the chase. They're always chasing. And the person that's looking down the road and say, hey, if I do this consistently over time, I'm going to build a population of people that know, like, trust me, and they're going to think about me when that time comes. And guess what? I don't have to go chase, which takes away the desperation, makes you come across as a true professional to the markets that you serve. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about here too, John, because effectively when you're stepping in front of the new agent before they get busy, before they start that brand, and you help them along the way, once that happens, your future production is already committed. It's there because you took the time to help pave the way.
It doesn't take a marketing genius to be a friend. I mean, just be a friend. Neil's good at it, man. Neil's good at, like, he builds his business based on, the consistency part of it, but he's viewed as a celebrity authority. And I think at my age, almost 50 now, it's like, I've had to, you're really good at it, Devin, of like making sure that you get out there, the podcast and so forth. And I view you as a celebrity authority, but I view you as like knowledgeable and knows the business. And that's coming from a peer. We're only 5 years younger than you, 5 days younger than you.
5 days. Yeah, as I say, not years.
But imagine that for a new agent, so now your marketing does exactly what Neil teaches. Is like the consistency, get out there, and then it's not chasing the numbers, it's not chasing the loans, it's the attraction part. And if you're creating a marketing where you are marketing to the newer agent, look, it's so easy, man. It's so bananas easy. I might do this tomorrow, is just going to do a video saying, hey, I've got this new class called Behind the Scenes. If you're a new agent in this industry and you just want to learn what the terms are and all the acronyms, and you just want to get more knowledgeable and you're a sponge and you just want to soak it all up, just meet me at this coffee shop at 10 o'clock. I've only got space for 6. And then in the afternoon, I've only got space for 6. And then I'd be willing to bet you I'll have 12 new agents in front of me. I would have made 12 friends in one day.
Yeah.
Right. And just follow up with them. Hey, you got any more questions? I'm your guy. Right. So now they're coming to me.
You beat me to it, because I was going to say, as loan officers, a lot of the times, and we know this because we're in leadership roles, right? But at the end of the day, there's a lot of loan officers, we just jump off a call, they go, but what do I present about, right? Like, if I'm going to sit down, I'm going to talk about something. And you said it. You said, hey, look, we're just going to talk about terms and mortgage knowledge that you'll want to know as you start your career as a new agent, right? But what are some of the other topics? Because I think a lot of the times we overcomplicate that, right? Like, really, this is going to be so hard. We're going to step up and they're going to call us out because we're not great at what we do. But man, this is what we do every day, right? So, like, what are some of those topics that you would teach?
Well, why do I go FHA instead of conventional?
They
don't know that. I mean, it's credit score. Not all the time, What are the pros, cons for VA?
Yeah.
Why you're never going to hear me say VA is not the best loan on the market. I still think it is. Well, how do you, and then, oh my gosh, like marketing, like, how, what kind of messages can you send out there? So we do a cage list for real estate agents, which is pretty cool. So I can do like little 30-minute classes for them on that. We do the behind the scenes thing. We kind of talk about, like, I'm not a credit repair person, so I can't advertise. I know how to repair credit, but I can advertise what we look for with credit. So we can teach real estate agents how to do that. I can keep going, Devin. You want to keep going?
Well, you can even talk about like credit expert tools, right? Where, hey, look, we can't fix the credit, but we do have tools that help us see how the client could potentially improve their positioning and do it in a really short-term amount of time. But I think the favorite one that I have that you teach, and you just did this on the MLO Live show a couple of weeks back with your agent business partner, Eddie Briggs, who also does the cageless events with you. And, you were just talking about the things that we do as originators that a lot of agents don't know, right? And literally just kind of talk through that a little bit. Like, what does that look like?
Wait, I mean, what do you mean? Like what we do that agents don't know or don't do?
Well, what does that presentation look like, right? So again, I'm a loan officer. I'm listening in. I'm like, how do I bring value to the people that I'm serving? And, what do I say when I go out there and talk about it? And it was so basic, right?
Oh,
that it was
are you talking about the behind the scenes class?
Yes, man. Just talk a little bit about it.
Okay. I walk them through the process. What happens to your client when they finally contact me? And how do you get them to contact me without fear? Everybody's scared of the big bad loan officer, right? So you're a new agent and you got someone that says, hey, I want to buy a house. Okay. My broker in charge told me that the first thing you have to do is you have to contact a mortgage loan officer and bring me a pre-qualification letter. I know this person, or I know these 3 people, which really means 3 average people, by the way. So so bring one person and then off you go, come back to me with a letter. No. So now I get in front of this new agent. I say, no, do a group text. Treat me like a friend. Don't make me scary looking. Don't make them intimidated to call me. So then we do a group text, and then I do the old joyful, hey, what's up? It's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm going to need to get some information from you. Don't worry. I won't need your hair and blood until later in the process. Joke about it, make it fun, whatever. So then the new agent's feeling, hey, this is pretty cool. Okay. So it's not as scary a process because I haven't closed a deal yet, or I've only closed 1 or 2 and I want to make it scary. So then what I do is I get in front of the agent and we kind of go through this whole process of like, you do the application, and then that's when we start collecting documentation. So then I go like, all right, so there's really like 8 different types of way we calculate income, and there's variable income, there's salary, there's hourly, there's self-employed, there's 100% commission. What's the difference between those? And you kind of skim the surface with it and you explain it to them, but you're only telling them what they need to know so they sound educated when they talk to the client. And then you go through the pre-approval process. What are we looking for debt to income ratio? What are we looking for this? And just the basic stuff. Then we talk about DU and LP, how important that is. What do those acronyms mean? Why do we rely on it? And then we just go into, and then this is when we go through here. And then you can really split that class up into 3 different classes, because it does take a while to go through it. But when you get to the whole point, like when you get to a point like, why do we go conventional and not FHA? They just start asking questions. They just start eating it up. And you're like, oh, so but even though FHA's got this upfront premium, it still saves them money to go this way because of this. And you're like, yeah. And then, sometimes rates a little bit more forgiving on FHA because of credit, but we've got this program over here, and you go through it, and you don't really get so into the atrocity, you go over their head, but you're guiding them as to why we go down the path that we go.
You're setting proper expectations so that they have a clear understanding as to what to look out for and what you're doing on the back end when they hand it off. And I think the most brilliant part about this whole thing is, John, number one, you're meeting them before they get busy, before they're out there becoming the monster agent that they're going to become. Number two, you're literally teaching them how to refer the business to you, which is great. You're saying, hey, this is how you refer to me once everything comes together. Right?
This is how we close deals. Mind control.
And then, from that point, you're telling them what to look for from a great loan originator, which you are, right? So they already know when they're talking to somebody who's not so great, what red flags to be looking out for.
Well, and another thing too, for everybody that's listening to this, like when you educate someone like this, you're not dumbing it down. Don't think of it that way. You're giving them the information, because how many loan officers are out there are like, agents, just stay in your lane. Oh, I hate that. I hate that so bad. Dude, this is their paycheck, man. They they need to know what's going on.
100%.
They don't need to speak lenderese. They just need to understand it.
Yeah.
Right. And you do during this training, you're not teaching or training the agent to combat you with the information. You're simply teaching them how to communicate with you on information. So like, Ashley, girl, we got a problem. Guess what didn't run? And she'll go, oh no, tell me DU didn't run. Yep, DU didn't run. We're gonna have to figure something out. Give me a couple seconds and I'll have that pre-approval. But I gotta finagle it a little bit, because we need, she goes, DU. You know what I mean? Like she knows we need it. So it's she understands what DU is, instead of don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And then now she's waiting. She's like anxious. She doesn't know what's going to happen. And like, what's next for me? And these new agents that are out there, dude, they're sponges. They want to know this stuff. They want to be good. They want to be good. They're going after it, man.
They want to take care of their people, the people that they serve, and they want to be able to lead them and lead them well. And you said something earlier about protecting the agent's commission. And I think, as loan officers, and originators, we need to think about that, because I think sometimes originators don't think about that. They're like, they hand me this lead, and at the end of the day, I'm going to work it up for them, and I'll get back to them when I get back to them. I've seen that. I've literally seen that. And the great loan officers say, no, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what this lead really is. This lead is a potential $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 opportunity, maybe one of the only transactions this agent's going to close for the year. And at the end of the day, they're going to nurture this thing like it's their newborn baby. And if you're not going to take the time to nurture that business for them, they're going to find somebody else that will, right?
100%. 100%. That's it. I can't say any better than that. I mean, it is their baby. That's what you're trying to protect. And, for some of us that have been in the industry for a really long time, we can get caught up in another transaction part of it, depending on how busy you are and so forth. When you get to that point in your career, step the F back and remember who you're working with. And especially if you take on, actually, let's put it this way. If you take on the responsibility of working with a new agent, take on that responsibility seriously, because you're basically training them for their livelihood. And that's a heavy responsibility.
Heavy wears the crown.
And I can promise you, I know a lot of real estate companies out there, and the way they're structured with the new laws and regulations and everything else like that, the BICs are not as available, and they're not able to do the training that they should be able to do because of the way they have it set up. So as a loan officer, at least educate them on what you've got and what you can do for them.
Yeah, I love it, man. So the year of the rookie, right? That's what we talked about. New agents, new money. And what you're really doing here is, and the best way that I think you can present is you're planting seeds, right? These are seeds that you're planting. And then, by doing the presentations and the follow through, now you're nurturing those seeds, right? You're giving them water and you're giving them fertilizer, right? So that they can go out there and grow. But the beautiful part about all this, John, and you talked about this because it's one to many. So now instead of focusing on one person, right, you're focusing on many people, you're nurturing all those people. And then as they grow and flourish into crops, you all win. It's not just you all win. And the best part is the clients get served so well because you're helping these new agents by guiding the way. And then when they get transitioned over to you, right, you're going to provide them a great service as well. And, this is something I talk about all the time in this industry. We have to serve our people well. Like as leaders, we have to serve our originators well, because if we don't, they should fire us, right? And if we're originators, we have to serve our agents and our borrowers well, or they should fire us. And that means that we should always be getting educated and we should always be educating others. And if we remember that, we're going to go so far in this business. We're going to help so many people in this business, and the money, it'll always come. It always come if you lead from that mindset.
Create the stories first, put the people first, and then the money will come afterwards. It kind of is a neat little, I got another story. Is today at 6, I'm doing a first-time homebuyer seminar for a brand new agent. Well, when you help someone like a brand new agent, guess who in their office notices you helping them? Maybe some of the bigger agents. And then they're going to go, that was pretty cool. And maybe they call you and say, hey, thanks for helping out this agent and doing this. You're helping them grow business and helping them. You're providing value. And you're like, I can provide you value too. So there you go. You open the door, because that baby agent is talking awesome things about you. Like, he took the time to do this and that. And you never know what kind of doors will open for you when you're just a friend and you're out there helping. That's it.
Well, you just remind me of the Charlie Rocket story, right? And what's funny is a lot of times we're trying to go straight to the bigger agent that already has people they're doing business with, and that doesn't always work because they've already got relationships that they know and that are treating them really well, right? But what Charlie said is that if you go to the front door and you knock and somebody doesn't answer, go to the back door, right? And if you go to the back door and they don't answer, there's probably a window, right? And go find that window, and that's going to open up opportunities that other people miss out on. That's what you're talking about, is that indirectly we're going to be able to get to some of these larger agents by nurturing the smaller agents, which is really climbing through that open window, right? And then helping them grow their business, which indirectly shows others who you are, because you're showing up and you're getting it done. And now all of a sudden, by the nature of the situation, you start working with larger agents on top of the small, newer agents that are growing, right? The ones that are just getting started and will become, at some point in time, some of the powerhouses out there in the industry.
Yeah. And as giants, it's hard to fit through that window, but just make your way through it somehow. Find a way to get through that window. Just get through it, man.
The wall.
That's what I was saying. Window. I'm just going right on through it.
Go straight through it, man.
I want coffee now.
Me want business. Let's go.
No, I love it, man. I do love it. I been doing this for 22 years, man, and I have shifted and pivoted and gone back and forth. And I think I'm at a point in my business and my career, and I think you are too, where I'm just at a point where I want to help now. And that's, the business takes care of itself. That is what I have learned, is it just takes care of itself. When you do nothing happens. But when you provide value and you're just out there helping, it gets noticed. It just gets noticed. The word spreads and good things happen in your life. And, I think today's topic in helping people get into this business, even on the real estate side, is a rewarding thing, and it will reward you later. Just don't look for it. Just let it happen on its own.
That's it. Well, again, I'm going to go back to the plant seeds thing. No farmer ever planted seeds and walked out the door the next day and said, why is this crop not grown? Like, what's going on, right? Like, they know what it takes. You got to have to get out there and water it and nurture it and fertilize it. But then 60, 90, 80, 120 days from now, you come out and you look out and you get this beautiful opportunity in front of you. And I always like to say a bountiful harvest, right, that you could bring home. But I think it's more than that, man, because again, for me, I love the opportunity to help others. And I think that's really what it boils down to, because you feel really good about yourself when you're not just making money for you, but you're making money for others, and you're making homes for the people you serve, and I think that's why I love this industry so much, is because we're helping so many people, so many families along the way. It's not just the families that are getting into homes and building generational wealth. It's everybody, every step along the way. And man, that's why I think we do this podcast. I'm pretty sure, John, that's why you do Cageless. And man, we're just the big dumb animals out there that love to help people.
That's about it. Me help mortgage. That's it, man. I like being described as a big dumb animal, because it is very true. But I tell you, I tell you, I've led this business with my heart, and it works. So just it's cool. Yeah, and doing mortgages is kind of cool, man. I mean, after 22 years, oh my gosh. You got people calling you saying, "Hey, I made my last payment on my mortgage, and I have a house owned free and clear." Yeah. Man, what a cool feeling! And I don't know, man. I'm excited for 2026, but this is the year of the new agents. I feel like there's a shift coming with.
I agree.
I think that whole millennial base is starting to wake up and say, "I need to buy a house," and I think it's coming.
Well, I also see something too, is I think there's a lot of people out there that are just motivated to get it done right now. There's been folks that have been struggling, but when you see this new crop of people coming out and just figuring out hacks on how they can make money earlier on in life, and and I think that's exciting stuff. So for me, I look at some of these younger people coming into the industry as front runners. This is where they already know what they want. They know they can get it, and they're actually willing to put forth the work to go out and make it happen. And so I tend to agree with you too, John. Let's break the myth. So myth is broken today, right? New agents the way to go.
Smashed. New agents. Get to know them, and nurture the relationships and take them serious, because they're going to be they're the seeds, like you said. So point well taken, sir.
Good stuff, man. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up today, John?
No, not in that regard, man. I think we covered it really well.
Good stuff, man. Well, I think we're going to keep bringing back giant thoughts from two giant men. So keep coming back every single week. We will be here on Fridays. I think our format is at 1 p.m. I believe it's Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. If you're here. So just tell us, because these big dumb animals, sometimes we forget to look at the clock. No, just JK.
Yeah.
Well, guys and gals, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we're your mortgage giants. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm John Hinks.
We will catch you on the